Imagine that if only for a moment you could travel back in time, to a time long before you or me, back across not hundreds, but thousands of years. Meet Inostransevia, a rhino-sized carnivore that uses its 4-inch long saber teeth to cut deep into its prey's flesh. Inostransevia is not a dinosaur, but a therapsid reptile. Soon after the first humans sinned in the Garden of Eden, death and sin entered the world, and animals took on carnivorous diets, and a myriad of different creatures roamed the planet. The end of Eden ushers the birth of a new era as we enter Planet of the Dinosaurs. Monsters such as Tyrannosaurus and Velociraptor stalk the landscape. In Planet of the Dinosaurs, we will show you how these majestic creatures might have lived, how they fought, hunted, and reproduced. We shall also reveal new discoveries that helped us see that most of what we knew about dinosaurs was wrong. We used to imagine them as lumbering beasts that were unbelievably dim-witted and cold-blooded. Now recent discoveries are shattering this myth. For almost 100 years, Africa was a lost world to paleontologists. But now, new discoveries have revealed some of the most spectacular dinosaurs that used to live here. Even though Egypt will one day become a dry, arid desert, before the flood, it was a lush, swampy habitat that was prime real estate for a myriad of different dinosaurs. 2 giant killers lived here, both larger than T-Rex, one of which was a hunter of big game. The other is a creature built for life around the water. How did these two dinosaurs live within the same vicinity and yet, for the most part, stay out of each other's way? The wetlands are perfect habitat for a placid herd of Paralititan, the dominant herbivores of the area. These huge sauropods, or long-necked dinosaurs, are also some of the largest animals ever to exist on the planet, at over 100 feet long and weighing 78 tons apiece. Being this large not only means that you can eat a lot of food without moving around much, it also means that nothing on Earth can attack you. The baby Paralititan are a different story, being nearly a third the size of the adults. Perhaps they wouldn't be so careless if they knew what was stalking nearby. Deltadromeus, a strange name for an equally strange animal. This one is only a juvenile, but he's still large enough to be a danger to baby Paralititan. The patriarch sauropod has detected danger nearby and beckons the herd to move out of danger's way. Enter Spinosaurus aegyptiacus. The ancient pharaoh of Egypt. Spinosaurus is a hypercarnivore. At 60 feet long and 10 tons in weight, not only is it the largest African carnivore, but it's also the largest carnivorous animal to ever walk the planet, outweighed only by marine predators. This colossal carnivore gets its name from the large sail on its back. It uses the sail to deter rivals, adjust its body temperature, and in males, to attract mates. Since the Deltadromeus was only a juvenile, it wasn't much of a meal, and when you're this big, you need to eat all the time. So Spinosaurus moves off to find its favorite hunting spot. The world's largest carnivore ever to walk the earth has a diet that might surprise you. Instead of hunting large dinosaurs, such as Paralititan and Oranosaurus, this animal is a piscivore, a fisher. Not only is it the world's largest fisher, it uses the world's largest lure. The sail casts a shadow on the water. Fish are attracted to the shadow and come into the grasping range of those sharp claws and teeth. This is the perfect time for fishing because the breeding season for a type of giant sawfish called Onchopristis is at its height. At over 20 feet in length, they make the perfect meal for a giant hungry predator. Northern Africa has been a lost world for paleontology ever since the first scientists uncovered the bones from this area in the early 1900s. Some of the fossils were of an entirely new dinosaur species called Spinosaurus aegyptiacus, discovered by Ernest Stromer in 1912. Stromer argued that Spinosaurus was larger than Tyrannosaurus rex. The bones he found were the most complete Spinosaurus skeleton ever discovered, but even still, they were far from complete. The only bones that were discovered at the time of this colossal killer were a few teeth, the lower jawbone, and a few vertebrae, many over 6 feet long. The fossils were later shipped to a museum in Germany. Unfortunately, human history collided with prehistory. During World War II, the Nazi headquarters were right in front of the museum. So when the Nazi headquarters were bombed in 1944, so was the museum and the very first Spinosaurus skeleton ever found. All that remains of the original Spinosaurus were the drawings and photos of the original specimen. Without fossils to correct us, scientists got it very wrong indeed. Essentially, scientists of the middle 1900s commonly depicted Spinosaurus as your average carnivorous dinosaur with a sail on its back. It was depicted hunting on land and with a carnosaur-like jaw. But God put so much more into this animal than we ever knew. In 1975 and 1996, scientists finally uncovered more evidence as to what Spinosaurus really looks like. A recent study by Cristiano Dal Sasso and his colleagues revealed that instead of a carnosaur-like head, it had an elongated snout like a crocodile. And that makes it no coincidence that it probably behaved like a crocodile as well. In 2010, scientists took a close look at the jaws of Spinosaurus because they noticed a bunch of little pits. CAT scans revealed these pits were connected to nerve endings. Perhaps Spinosaurus, like a modern crocodile, could sense movement in the water to detect fish. Another study of Spinosaurus took place in 2005 when Dal Sasso and his team realized that Stroma was right all those years ago about the size of Spinosaurus. It really was the biggest carnivorous dinosaur ever to walk the earth. Spinosaurus specializes in hunting aquatic prey, but if we venture from the river out onto the plains nearby, another large carnivore hunts prey of a totally different kind. This is Carcharodontosaurus. Unlike Spinosaurus, this 46-foot monster hunts mainly land-based prey. Right now, though, he isn't hunting for food. He smells an intruder on his turf. If you're going to catch prey, you need a territory to hunt in. Carcharodontosaurus is a very territorial dinosaur. They need at least 500 square kilometers of land to survive. And that's normally not enough room to share. These two large males size each other up, waiting for Fight Club to begin. Various bite marks have been found on the skulls of Carcharodontosaurus. Fights over territory are probably what caused most of them. Now our Carcharodontosaurus can leave and find a real meal nearby. The Spinosaurus is fishing in the river. Right now, the river is high and with few, if any, droughts in this pre-flood world. Spinosaurus can afford to leave half-eaten fish lying around. This can be very wasteful, a fact that some scavengers have learned to find useful, such as this Rugops. This Rugops is a large adult male, and he has learned to take advantage of the Spinosaurus leftovers. Anywhere else, this creature might dominate, but here at the river, it is dwarfed by Spinosaurus. Rugops is an abyssosaurid, like the larger Carnotaurus and Majungasaurus. Its jaws are relatively weak, and its arms are puny, so this creature makes a living by being an opportunistic scavenger, feeding off of the Spinosaurus's meals. Something inside Spinosaurus tells it that it is time to leave. It picks up a fish and leaves the creek. The reason for leaving in such a hurry is unknown. After successfully defending its territory from its rival, our Carcharodontosaurus moves into the forest to find prey. These weird-looking beasts are called Ouranosaurus. They are related to the more familiar iguanodon found in Europe. Our hunter might be able to make a kill today after all. It will take skill, but he's done it several times before. One Ouranosaur is slower than the rest and is easily caught by the great carnivore. Unlike the famous Tyrannosaurus rex of North America, Carcharodontosaurus doesn't have the jaw power to crunch and grind bone. Instead, it makes a few devastating bites before it either crushes the neck or waits for the animal to die of exhaustion, blood loss, and shock. The Carcharodontosaurus has its hard-earned meal. The Spinosaurus that went fishing earlier has arrived at its destination. Once it arrives, it's obvious why she brought the fish all this way. This Spinosaurus is a mother. She has come all this way to feed her infants. Now that her work for the day is done, she can lie in the sunshine and take a well-deserved nap. A few days have passed. The mother Spinosaurus wakes up in the early morning sun to resume her daily fishing trip. But this time, she's not alone. Her young are going to join her. The Spinosaurus family arrives at the creek, where Uncle Pristis are still swimming just under the surface. While Uncle Pristis are far too large for baby Spinosaurus to tackle, there are plenty of other fish that are just the right size. These smaller fish are an excellent choice. If these Spinosaurus chicks are going to learn to fish like their mother, they will need to acquire patience and a keen eye. Some predators already have a keen pair of eyes and are watching the little dinosaurs play on the riverbank. Meet Sarcosuchus imperator, or Sarco for short. Sarcosuchus is the largest crocodilian ever to roam the planet. At over 40 feet long and weighing 10 tons, it's a force not to be reckoned with. Even the mighty Spinosaurus would think twice before battling this colossus. This male Sarcosuchus is very protective of his territory. He could easily kill the mother and her children if he catches her off guard. This is no time for her to teach her young how to fish, so she decides to lead her unruly brood away from the river. Sarcosuchus is acting more ferocious than usual, not only towards other species, but towards other members of the same species as well, as we can plainly see when another male Sarcosuchus ventures onto his turf. Sarcosuchus was already an incredible crocodile, but it might have had another cool feature that no other croc has. It might have had the ability to breathe fire. The intruder backs down. So why is this Sarcosuchus being so territorial? The answer is simple. He has a girlfriend. It is his duty to protect her, keep her on his own turf, and chase off unwanted males. Soon they will mate and start a new generation of crocodile kings. Ever since the numerous fossils of Sarcosuchus were discovered by Paul Sereno in the late 1990s, scientists have been puzzled by the large bulge on Sarcosuchus' snout. Was it used to create loud noises to attract mates and deter rivals? Maybe, but sometimes it's best to look beyond the fossil record for clues. In an ancient book called Job in the Holy Bible, God was describing one of the creatures he created called Leviathan. Job chapter 41 verses 12 through 29 says, I will not fail to speak of Leviathan's limbs, its strength and its graceful form. Who can strip off its outer coat? Who can penetrate its double coat of armor? Who dares open the doors of its mouth, ringed about with fearsome teeth? Its back has rows of shields tightly sealed together. Each is so close to the net that no air can pass between. Its snorting throws out flashes of light. Its eyes are like the rays of dawn. Flames stream from its mouth. Sparks of fire shoot out. Smoke pours from its nostrils as from a boiling pot over burning reeds. Its breath sets coals ablaze. Strength resides in his neck. Dismay goes before it. The sword that reaches it has no effect, nor does the beak or the dart or the javelin. Nothing on earth is its equal, a creature without fear. It looks down on all that are haughty. It is king over all that are proud. These passages not only seem to say that this creature could literally, and not figuratively, breathe fire and knew no fear, but the descriptions given seem to match that of Sarcosuchus. This may seem a little strange coming from a crocodile, but if this animal breathed fire, it wasn't alone in nature. A little beetle living in the present, called the bombardier beetle, can eject hot, fire-like acid from its tail to repel predators. If a little beetle can do something like that, what about a 10-ton Sarcosuchus? Could Sarcosuchus breathe fire? We may never know, but it certainly isn't out of the realms of scientific possibilities. The mother Spinosaurus is still hungry, so she must find food. Though she is specially designed for fishing, they weren't the only thing on this monster's menu. This animal is not a dinosaur, but a flying reptile called a pterosaur. This one might make the perfect appetizer for Spinosaurus. If she can catch it, that is. Scientists have uncovered evidence that Spinosaurs might have been ferocious predators on land as well as in the water. One pterosaur neck bone from South America has a tooth from a Spinosaur in it. Now, based on the position of the tooth, it was probably killed by the Spinosaur. Another piece of evidence comes from Europe, where a Spinosaur called Baryonyx has been found with remains of a young iguanodon in its stomach. So it's reasonable to conclude that Spinosaurus also ate land-based prey. The pterosaur wasn't much of a meal, but Spinosaurus smells something in the distance. Perhaps a more fulfilling target. Our Carcharodontosaurus is happily resting in the shade. Big carnivores such as this don't need to make a kill every day. They only need to make a kill once a week, depending on the size of the prey animal. They will often stay near the carcass they killed to protect it from unwanted visitors. This is what the mother Spinosaurus smelled from afar. But Carcharodontosaurus won't give up so easily. The baby Spinosaurus are hiding in the foliage nearby. If Carcharodontosaurus sees them, they could be in big trouble. The fight for the dead Ouranosaurus is on. Carcharodontosaurus walks off the scene. This fight could have had a very different, unwanted outcome for Carcharodontosaurus had it decided to continue fighting. Thanks to her awesome size, the mother Spinosaurus has won this fight. We even have evidence for a sail injury on Spinosaurus. A Spinosaurus vertebrae has been found broken in two. The most likely conclusion is that its sail was bitten by some large carnivore, and the only carnivore large enough to take on Spinosaurus other than another Spinosaurus would be a large carnosaur, such as Carcharodontosaurus. So the two probably occasionally clashed. The damage on the mother Spinosaurus's sail might look bad, but there are no vital organs or major blood vessels in it, so she will recover. Right now, the family of Spinosaurus can enjoy an Ouranosaurus carcass, while the Carcharodontosaurus goes off into the distance to find another place to rest. Eventually, these lush marshes will become covered by the waters of Noah's flood, and after a brief post-flood period of marshlands, they will dry up and become deserts of Cairo. But for now, at least, life goes on for these giant killers as they managed to survive in the ancient pre-flood world. Next time, we will take a trip to the ancient Arctic regions of the world and learn how dinosaurs survived in what are today the coldest, most barren wastelands on the planet.